Welcome to the Boxing Bookie. We are back. I'm joined with my partner in crime, Johnny, over at Johnny Says Boxing. We're back, Johnny. How's it going, my man?
What's up, buddy? How's it going? We're dual streaming, so these are always fun. We get to collab, link up in the middle. We got a lot of fights to talk about, so going well, brother.
All right. Well, your city is on the map.
Mm.
You're the center of the boxing world. I've given my thoughts on this fight. We'll get into it in just a minute. But start us off. Lead us off. Talk about Spence and
Spence and Zoo. Yeah, so I was
Zoo.
I was before we went live, I was explaining to Gary is that we're such a small. I moved here in 2013. Obviously, I'm an American, but transplant. I'm an Aussie resident. It's not very often that Australia gets an active future Hall of Fame world champion like Errol Spence. So the No Limit has put a lot of money behind this. They did the grand arrivals last night at the Opera House, which was phenomenal. Had all the fighters there, all the media was there. The weather was great, and there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype around this card because it's Errol Spence, and from afar, if you're just reading the comment section on even the Australian boxing content creators, there's a lot of love for Errol Spence, and it just goes to show you the respect that the fight fans have for a guy like Spence, what he's done in his career, and what he's meant for the sport of boxing. And it's pretty interesting because on the other hand of Zoo, with the last name, since he turned pro in 2016, it's kind of rubbed people the wrong way in certain circles domestically here about some of the opportunities Timmy has had since turning pro that maybe you might not get if your last name isn't Zoo, sort of thing. So there's a lot of electricity around this fight.
All right. Before we get into the breakdown of the fight, to me, we have a washed up former world champion who hasn't fought in 3 years, who hasn't looked good in a fight since you were wearing your COVID mask, against a washed up Nepo baby. Why am I excited for this fight? Break it down, because I've encouraged my guy. I did an entire breakdown on this fight, and the entire breakdown was don't bet on this fight. But give me your thoughts on what happens Saturday, or I guess what happens in the ring.
I'll be there at the fight. It'll be Timmy and Errol will be fighting Sydney time, Sunday, 1 p.m. I'm pretty sure that No Limit did the whole Dana White UFC thing. When the UFC comes to Sydney, it's always Sunday, so the American market could watch it Saturday night.
It will be. I was trying to understand. It's prime time in the U.S.
Yes.
It's the middle of, okay.
Yeah, so it'll be 1 p.m. Sunday afternoon when Tim and Errol fight. So it's two things, right? You and I, the content that we create, how we keep the lights on, the betting, the strategy, where we're putting our money side of things. From a betting perspective, this is obviously there's so many unanswered questions what to expect with both guys. It's not going to be a bettor's dream. This is actually, a real bet. So obviously I've told the boys, don't bet the mortgage on this fight. There's just too many things, right? Neither guy's in their prime, neither guy's coming off world class performances. Now, from an entertainment side, from a fan's perspective, since Errol, I remember watching Errol in the Olympics trials 2012 when he turned pro in 2013. I always wanted to see him live. And I moved to Australia that same year he turned over. I never got to see him live. So from a fan perspective, I'll be in like the fourth row. I'm excited to be able to watch him perform. Obviously, it's not Errol in his prime. I think his prime would have been 2015, 2018 when he was knocking everybody out. And so from a fan perspective, people are excited. And it's Zoo, Tim Zoo. Over the social media era, most popular boxer coming out of Australia. I don't want to say of all time because that, there's respect for our elders. Look, Tony Mundine, Anthony Mundine's dad in 1976 was flying to Paris, flying to Buenos Aires, Argentina, fighting guys like Carlos Monzon and Emil Griffin and things like this. But of the social media era, Tim Zoo is the most popular fighter. So you're getting to see this clash and the undercard stack. There's some good Aussie prospects. Callum Peters, 50 cows fighting an Argentinian guy. You got Ahmad Rita.
I wanted to get into the card. I want to get into the card, but like, so just it to recap, as far as the Spence fight, what is your bet? I've been adamant not to bet on this fight. I think betting on this
and
fight.
You're a Texas guy. That's shocking. Well, you're usually like pro everything Texas.
I am pro. I'm rooting for Spence. I want Spence to win. But from a bettor's perspective, I just don't see why this makes any sense.
It's
betting on it either way. I think
it's a gamble.
Why? Yeah. Well, what? I mean, did you place any action on this?
Yeah. So I do.
Zero.
Yeah. Full transparency. I do have of all. I don't have my books aren't giving me all the fights yet. Still, it's Wednesday morning here in Sydney, so I'm only getting like a handful of fights for the entire weekend, including all the international cards. So one of the bets I do have is Tim Tszyu is currently plus 135 on the money line. And so I'm using him as a dog. He's my dog of the week, plus 135. And my reasoning for that is, I think they're going to make it 55-0. I'm statistically, logically, the time away Errol Spence hasn't fought in 3 years, all that stuff. We could speak ad nauseum about Errol Spence baggage that he brings into fight night. The fight's at 160. Tim Tszyu, Nikita Tszyu, Costa Tszyu, fun fact, 54-0, fighting in Australia. 22,000 fans will be at the Kudos Bank Arena to watch him. I was at the Tony Harrison fight. I think there are slight parallels with the Tony Harrison fight. And I just think I can't, I'm going to bet on the fight. I'm betting on Tim to win. I don't see Errol Spence coming off the couch and beating him.
I could see anything happening here. You got Errol Spence fighting at a brand new weight, 47-54.
They're fighting at 60.
Is the biggest jump in boxing. He's not going from 47 to 54. He's going from 47 to 60, and he hasn't fought in 3 years, and he hasn't looked good in a fight since Danny Garcia, which was 6 years ago. So like, I can't. I kind of think Spence is going to win, but I learned my lesson with Keefe Poo. I've learned my lesson. Why
you keep bringing that up?
Because it's the same. Because it's the same thing. I mean, Errol Spence and Keith Thurman is the same thing, and everyone called me retarded for betting on Keith Thurman, and they proved to be right. Now I'm getting the same people who rightfully called me. No, Tim sucks. Who rightfully called me retarded, saying I'm betting on Errol Spence. What the Keith Thurman? Granted, it was against Brock Jarvis. At least Keith Thurman had a tune-up fight. Spence hasn't even had that. He literally hasn't fought since he got blown out by Crawford. Now, getting blown out by Crawford, okay, it's the best fighter of his era. But he wasn't competitive in that fight for a minute, and he didn't look good against Ugas. It's been a long time since Errol Spence looked good in the fight, so I can't bet on him, and I don't think Tim Tszyu is any good, so I'm not betting on Tim Tszyu.
Danny Garcia was a 140-pounder too, brought up to 47.
Danny's a big guy. Danny's a big guy.
But that was years ago too, though. Ugas, 2022. People say in the comment section, because I'm getting torched on my breakdown because I picked him, which is fun. I love trolling the Errol Spence fans. It's good to see Errol back because the comment section is back to being casual. It's crazy. Errol was such a star in his prime that he has loyalist fans who get emotional. Grown men defending the honor of a man that they have never met in comment sections, to me, is the best opportunity to troll people. Anyway, so Tszyu, you said Fundora sucked during our breakdown, during our debate when he fought Thurman. I picked Fundora to stop Thurman. You're saying Tszyu sucks, and why not just bet on Tszyu? Because you said the same thing with Fundora.
You asked me a question. Let me respond to the question before you cut me off. I have one simple rule, and my guys can tell me what it is. What is my rule? Don't bet on crappy fighters. Don't bet on crappy fighters, because crappy fighters could lose because they're crappy. They're crappy for a reason, right? Could Tszyu win the fight? I wouldn't pick him to win, but like it wouldn't shock me if he did. Errol Spence hasn't fought in 3 years, and he's moving up 2 weight classes. He certainly could lose. But I'm not gonna lose my money on Tim Tszyu. I lost money last week on Eubank by decision. That was a value play. I thought there was some value in Eubank by decision, right? But like, It sucks to lose a parlay or to lose a bet when you bet on a guy you know is no good. And guys who are no good can get knocked out. They can lose because they suck. I've never, like, Tim Tszyu fooled me for like a month. Like, after the Tony Harris, I felt like, all right, maybe this guy doesn't suck as much as I think he does. No, he does. He does.
Having a rule don't bet on shitty fighters for us breaking fights down and betting that limit. Didn't you bet on Badillo to beat Iwata? Badillo sucks.
Badillo does not suck.
Badillo was terrible.
Marvin Hagler compared to Tim Tszyu.
Badillo got beat up again, but to the point. Forget if he said, but you bet on Badillo and he lost against Iwata. And then you think Harlem Eubanks is good? Doesn't he suck?
I said that was a mistake. I said I got sucked into on a value
my point
play.
is, it's not like we have opportunities.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you that Badillo sucks. I don't think Badillo sucks.
Badillo is not good, man. So
Harlem Eubanks sucks. He sucked more than I thought he did. Watching that fight, watch him coming so wide open every time,
rushing in, crashing in.
Yeah. Like when he had Pop out down, like, he about to get knocked out. He gonna walk into something right now. He's like, he's that bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Eubank was gonna get knocked out.
But if we lived with that theory, don't bet on bad fighters. It's boxing globally. We're not always getting
theory.
There, but then you would never bet, because how many well-rounded, high-level, world-class fighters are we getting the opportunity to bet on? So I'm just poking a hole in that theory. Then you would never bet.
It's not a hole. I don't understand. Like, I don't bet on crappy fighters. I don't do it. If you look at unless there's like a level, like if it's two domestic level fighters, is one guy a good domestic level fighter? If it's two Euro level, is one guy good at that level against a guy below that level, right? Like, I'm betting on Josh Kelly. I don't think Josh Kelly's good, but he's not fighting a world level guy. He's fighting a Euro level guy, a domestic level guy. So I'll bet on Josh Kelly. I wouldn't bet against Josh Kelly against another world level fighter, because he sucks at that level. Are you betting on Josh Kelly?
Well, the money line isn't that bad. Like a week ago, he was 38. A week ago, he was 38% return on the money line. People have been smashing it. Now it's down to 28%. So even like 28% on the money line against Khamzat Agarko, it's a good parlay piece. A lot of the boys are trying to get sexy points or stoppage. Khamzat Agarko, 5'8" guy. They have similar opponents. He's going to look good on the scales. People are going to see him, but he's really basic. I think this fight is set up perfectly. It's crazy. It's a world title fight, by the way. Shout out to Agarko for getting a world title shot. But
that's the state of boxing. You guys tell me boxing's in good shape.
I've been told that Eddie, the plan is for Kelly to fight Agarko, look great, however that's going to look, and then sell out a football stadium, maybe Wembley, with Boots versus Kelly to unify, and then take all those belts back to America for an undisputed title against Seb. So we'll see if that's what happens, but that seems to me what Eddie wants to do. And if that's the case, Kelly's going to want to put on a performance. I remember he fought a guy, Flavio Bea.
I love this. Let me get into it. Where's the contradiction? Don't bet. Do you guys understand the words that you use? What are the two contradicting things that I said? Betting on Harlem Eubank was an error in judgment. It's not a contradiction. A contradiction would be telling you don't bet on crappy fighters. Bet on Tim Tszyu. That would be a contradiction. Having an error in judgment is not a contradiction. You guys don't know what words mean. Proceed.
Where were we? Okay, so I remember when Kelly was rebuilding himself after the Evanesian loss, gets a couple wins, wasn't even fight. You had to like get a VPN to even watch these fights. He's fighting a French guy, Flavio Bea, and he gets the first. Bea had this inflated 28-0 record, I think, and Kelly got him out of there in the first round. He was getting promoted by Wasserman Boxing, and then it came out that Wasserman promised that if he starts stopping people, then the big fights will come. Now, plus 500 for the stoppage for Kelly to stop Agarko. People are selling me on it. I think he's going to beat Agarko. I think he's going to do what he does: hand speed, popping shots from the outside, win rounds.
How many punches do you think? How many punches do you think he threw in the Bachram fight?
I think he averaged like 14 or 15, maybe 16 around, and then as the fight goes on, but that's his style. He's not a volume swarmer.
I don't
You know,
understand. No. There's a difference between he's not a volume swarmer and he throws 16 punches around. In the second half of the fight, he averaged 13 punches around. How do
If
you
that.
like? And this is what I'm saying. It was a travesty, and it's disgusting that they gave him a world title, right? But he knew what he was doing.
Oh, what?
It's
What are
a
you
trap.
talking about?
How do you win a fight, Johnny? Don't be a fanboy. How do you
A
score
fanboy?
fight?
We're talking
Let
about styles.
let me ask my question.
We're talking about styles, though.
Let me ask my question, and then I'll let you respond. I give you all the time you need to respond, but let me ask my question first. How do you give a world title to a guy who refuses to throw any punches? Go ahead.
Because Styles, you don't take your strengths and you don't make your strengths your weaknesses in boxing. It depends on the matchup. What Kelly has done masterfully in his handlers since the amateurs is they've seen what he's good at, what his strengths are: hand speed, power, movement, defense, use the entire ring. And you take all of these tools, and then whenever you fight, whatever matchup it is, you develop a game plan. You're not going to take a kid who strives on those strengths.
Johnny, respond to my question.
I'm telling
How
you,
do you give a
you're not
decision? I didn't ask you about what his camp did. That's not my question.
He won a
My
world
question,
title
Johnny,
with his
let me
strengths.
respond to my question. My question isn't about
You
what his
keep
camp
cutting
did.
me off.
You're
He
not
won a
answering my
world-
question.
He won
My
a
question
world
is,
title.
how do you give
keep
a
cutting
fight,
me
a
off.
world title fight to
I
a
know
guy
you
who
picked
doesn't throw
Bakram.
punches?
I know you picked Murtazalov and you're salty that he lost. I get that.
But that's fine. But respond to my
Josh
question,
Kelly-
and then we'll talk about Berlanga, who you took to knock out Hamza Siraj.
Josh Kelly, shout out to Berlanga. Josh Kelly, Eddie Baggs. Shout out to Eddie Baggs. If he can't beat Butler, he better hang him up.
He
So
might get
Josh,
knocked out by Butler. Somebody
If he
asked me,
can't-
would
if
you
he
consider
can't-
Edgar Berlanga a crappy fighter? Yes.
if
Yes,
Eddie
I would.
Baggs,
But continue.
if Eddie Baggs can't beat
Yes, I
Butler,
would.
we're all in trouble. But back to PBK. So you're not going to take a guy who isn't known for being a slugger in the pocket
I'm not
and
asking
fight.
you if you take a guy and I'm asking you
I'm
about the
telling
scoring
you,
of the fight.
It was
Answer
a
the question
brilliant.
about the score.
It was
I'm
a
not
brilliant
asking if
game
you thought
plan.
It was brilliant, Johnny. I'm not asking.
It was a
about his
masterful game plan. He became a
But
world champion.
Repeat the question
This
back. I'm not.
is
People
boxing.
think I'm an asshole. I'm not being an asshole. Repeat the question back to me so I know that you understand the question, because you're not responding to my question. What's
You
my
sound
question?
emotional. You sound
I'm not
emotional. We need
emotional. I
to.
want you to respond to my question.
We need to
I want you to
compartmentalize
respond to my
emotions.
question.
We need to
I want you to
compartmentalize
respond.
emotions
I want you. Yeah.
from
That's
facts.
awesome. Now respond to my question.
Josh Kelly throws those punches the amount, or in your words, not a lot of volume, how he does in that fight to win a world title.
How do you?
Masterfully.
I'll repeat the question. How do you?
How
give
many
a
punches
world
around did
title-
Pernell Whitaker throw?
How do
Pernell
you give
Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker gets heralded
gonna
for
get-
winning
okay.
for winning rounds. He once, when people talk about Sweet Pea, they're like, he once run around without throwing any punches. It's called boxing.
You
It's
see
not
the
called
red
knockout.
herrings? Like, this is all emotion. This is all red herring. This is all logical fallacy. I didn't ask you about Pernell Whitaker. Let's say I concede that Pernell Whitaker should never win a fight. What does that have to do with Josh Kelly? What does Pernell
Why do you
Whitaker
hate
do with
Josh Kelly?
I don't hate
What's your
Josh
beef
Kelly.
with
I
him?
asked you. See, stop bringing emotion into it. I asked you a reasonable question.
Are
How
you
do you
trying
score a world
Are you
title
trying to
fight?
gaslight me because you're being emotional?
I'm not being emotional at all. I've asked one question that you refuse to
You're being
answer.
emotional.
And the reason why you won't answer it is obvious, because the answer is
I'm pretty
gonna be
sure I
incriminating.
answered it. What's the chat say? I'm pretty sure I answered it.
What's the answer then?
Josh Kelly did what he had to do to win a world title fight.
That is begging the question. That is the question being asked. What do you think the question is?
You're saying so the most punches thrown wins the fight? What are you talking about?
Johnny,
so
repeat to me.
you're salty.
Hang on.
You're
stop.
salty because he didn't throw
You're
a
not
lot of
repeating
punches?
You don't even. You said you answered the question, but you don't even know what the question is. So how'd you answer?
It's answered.
But
It's
you don't even know what the
answered.
question. You don't even know what the question
Calm
is.
down. We can do breath work. You need to chill.
You
Go
need
on.
to chill too. You need to relax and stop appealing to emotion and just answer the question.
What is the? How am I appealing to emotion? You're having a
You
breakdown.
said you're angry. Let's say I'm angry. Let's say I'm emotional.
You are
Let's
angry.
Say, let's say okay.
You got
Stop.
anger issues,
Let's
dude.
say I concede. Let's say I concede all of that. Let's say I concede all of that. What does that have to do with Josh Kelly getting rounds he didn't deserve? Let's say I'm angry. What does that have to do with Josh Kelly winning the fight?
Because he outboxed a guy who was less talented.
How do you outbox someone without throwing any punches? That's
by neutralizing a game plan, and having on the judge's scorecard. What was Murtazalov doing? Coming forward and missing? How many times did Josh out angle him? How many times did Murtazalov swing and miss? They both went to the ground.
You mean to pull up this fight? He got knocked down 3 times. They didn't score him knockdowns, and
Why are we talking about this whole fight?
that he landed like 2 punches in? How do you
We
throw
have
around
so
for a guy
many
that landed
fights,
2 punches?
bro, chill. We have so many fights to talk about in the next 72 hours. Let's talk about those fights. This is getting kind of tiresome. Josh Kelly's fighting Agarco. Money line.
All right.
Money line play.
We both agree. Money line parlay piece. Agreed. We
100%.
We agree on Josh Kelly. Extraordinary.
Yes. So you said all that. You're actually taking Kelly. Why not take Agarco?
I said I would take in Kelly because he's not fighting a world-class guy. I don't think much of Kelly at this level. He belongs at this level. At this level, he's going to lose because all he does is run and hold.
We'll see. I don't know, man.
I think he's going to win because he's not fighting a world. You think you think he would beat Boots, correct?
I want to see that fight. I'm not saying I would pick him to beat. I'm not saying I would pick him to beat. Stylistically, I want to see Boots because Jerron thrives. Where Jerron breads his butter is when guys will stand there with him and punch with him. I want to see him have to put the pressure on and go after a guy and see if Josh could use his timing and speed and pick him off from the outside. And Josh could punch too. I want to see that style.
I agree. He can punch. That's why I don't understand why when he catches.
Josh is not going to fight.
He can
Jerron.
punch. He's not feather fisted. I agree.
Josh
with you.
will not fight. He won't fight Jerron like Xander fought Jerron.
Guys,
Xander
vote in the poll. Everybody vote in the poll. Guys, vote in the poll. Vote in the poll.
Xander fought Jerron like a young 22-year-old kid playing who has the bigger dick contest. Let's stand. He had him hurt though. I think 26, 27-year-old Xander, if he fought that way, it might have been a little bit different. But you still got a Xander who's developing into what he feels he's good at. But anyway, I would want to see that fight. I would. And I do want to see Boots and Seb. And I do think Boots is going to undisputed 54. I think I want to see Boots at 160.
I'm running a poll. I'm running a poll with my guys on who wins, Boots or PBK. Who do you think is going to win the poll?
Oh, Jerron. Of course. Right. What do you talk? I want to see how the styles blend though, from just a boxing purist perspective.
Josh Kelly's going to run until he tires out, and then he's going to get knocked out. Like we already know how that fight's going to go. It's just Jerron.
It's not like Jerron is a flawless fighter. He has flaws too, man. He gets hit a lot. You know, and we know where he's great at.
David Avanesian beat the tar out of your guy. Like, what are we talking?
David Avanesian on the European level is a freaking dog, dude. He only lost when he stepped up.
Yeah, clearly a level ahead of PBK. Clearly,
I mean, look, Ava. If you're trying to undersell Ava, you need to do Ava's a dog. He loses to Bud. He loses to Jerron. But Avanesian in his prime, is a really, really tough fighter. And I think that fight, Kelly was doing great in the fight till he faded. It was a very awful game plan.
Don't you understand? When all you do is run off the back foot, you're always going to fade. And this is why I say Caleb Plant sucks. And I'm going to make a t-shirt that says 3D Boxing. Caleb Plant sucks.
Caleb getting hit with strays. I'm not a Caleb guy, by the way. I've never been a Caleb Plant guy.
That's what we do around here. We Caleb with strays. Caleb Plant sucks. And
that's a fun shirt, though. To avoid lawsuit, you'd have to go spell Caleb and just do an emoji of a plant. So Caleb emoji plant sucks on the back. But I
look at it as if Caleb Plant sues me, that's good for me because now I'll get attention. Right? So Caleb Plant wants to sue me.
He's petty. He's petty. Do you remember was it him who bought the Edgar Berlanga website and then started selling merch from it? Plant would probably
vaguely remember this.
Plant would probably sue you. He's petty. Because him and Berlanga were supposed to fight. He bought EdgarBerlanga.com and then started selling merch. That would be hilarious if you do that shirt.
Plant sues me, I'll have 100,000 subs by the end of that week. So go ahead.
Dude, you should do the shirt. So yeah, where were we with that? There's that bullshit Tyson Fury fight that you can't even watch. You have to watch it on they're playing it on Tyson Fury's reality show. Did you know that? You can't watch it.
I was gonna ask that question.
It's not being streamed. They're not playing it anywhere. And it's a friendly, but you could bet on it. So I would definitely avoid that. Anthony Joshua, the odds are terrible on that. But what else is there? Okay, Liam Wilson, Steph Fulton. Have you looked into that?
I haven't done the tape on this fight. I'm gonna do the tape next. I'm doing Hitchens right now. I'm gonna have that tomorrow. I'm gonna do the tape on because I really like this fight. I still think
Hitchens Salas.
No. Which one? Let's finish up the Scooter fight first because I think
Okay.
Scooter Liam Wilson. I think Scooter wins. I haven't done the
Okay.
tape yet, so don't quote me on that. That's not my official prediction. Preliminarily, I do
Hmm.
like Scooter by decision.
Hmm.
I've met Liam Wilson a bunch of times at top rank events. I really like him. I think he's a tough kid. I think this is a
Okay.
step too far. I like Scooter by a tough decision. I think he wins a lot of rounds, but he has to really work for it, and he looks bad at times. But I do like Scooter by decision.
Okay. How long ago did you meet Lee? I've never met Liam Wilson. I've never talked to him face to face. How long ago did you meet him? If you don't mind me asking.
Less than 2 years ago, probably. I'll tell you what fight it was. Hang on, let me look it up real quick. I've met him twice, I think.
Because there's rumors going around here domestically that he's showing visible signs of like speech slurring. Was he slurring was it noticeable when you spoke to him or no? If you don't remember, it wasn't noticeable.
Oh, Valdez fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that long ago, that Valdez. But there's a lot of rumblings that at 30 years old, 31, Liam is already showing signs of like slurring his speech, which is like, I mean, that's not. Did you pick up on that or no?
This again, no, I did, but
Okay.
I never talked to him prior to
Okay.
that. So I don't know how he sounds prior to that. You know.
So Fulton is a guy from a betting perspective. It's like he looks, he gets stopped against Inoue, and then he has that rematch against Fig, and everybody was jumping on Fig, and then all of a sudden Fulton looked great, and then he fights Shock. I took Shock in that fight, and he kind of, it was like a head scratching performance. Like, does Fulton even want to be here? And then you hear rumblings come, like Paulie said on a podcast this week that he heard for the Shock fight that Fulton was spending a lot of time at DSG's bar rather than training. And then if that's the case, it's like, where his motivation's at? I saw him yesterday at the Grand Arrivals. He looked massive. Bro, you can pull this up if you want to go to like No Limit or PBC was there in it. He's getting interviewed next to Sean Porter. We know Sean Porter, that dude is like, he's short, but dude, Sean Porter's a big dude. I don't know how Fulton's going to make 130. He even said it. He was like, I'm weighing heavy right now. He doesn't know who Liam Wilson is. He said he's never seen him fight. Wilson, if anything.
Yeah, but how much of do you think that's psychological cap? That's not true. He knows damn well. He's a boxing fan. He knows who Liam Wilson is. Like, that's cap.
Do you think?
I do. That was like when Kobe Bryant said he didn't know who Jeremy Lin was during Lin Mania. You know who.
Errol said he never heard of Jeff Fennick.
Well, that's before his time. That's possible. That's before his time. That is before his time.
But Fennick trained Mike Tyson for a few fights.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird thing to say.
So I don't know. And interviewing fighters, as long as you have and as I have, there are certain instances where you'll meet a guy and they'll say they don't even watch the sport. Like I've heard guys tell me, hey, did you watch tape on your guy? He's like, no, I don't. I just train. I'm like,
but Liam Wilson is a top 10 guy around his weight class.
Andy's dangerous. He's a front foot guy, heavy hook style. But if Fulton, I think Fulton, if he fights him just like Fig, I think Liam is like a level or two below Figueroa. Fulton should outbox him. That's the logic in it, and the odds suggest that as well. But I'm hearing people, guys just on both sides of the game, you're following, my following. I don't have a play yet on it. I haven't committed to either Fulton or Wilson. I think Wilson's live. He's hungry for being a world champion. He feels he was robbed against Navarrete. Head-scratching performance against Valdez. In a fight, he looked competitive and then chose to just punch with Valdez. And then, who has the bigger dick contest didn't go his way. So, logically, Fulton should be able to outbox him and make it look easy. Will Fulton be in shape?
It's easy, bro. I don't think it's. I think he wins. I think you're right in the sense. Maybe even the scores are wide, but I think it's going to be one of those fights where it's 10 rounds to 2, but every round was difficult, right? Like
Wilson's going to be there. Wilson's going to be in his face. And the thing Liam doesn't do well is he doesn't move his head well. He doesn't traditionally cut off the ring well. In his last fight, you started seeing him trying to do it a little bit because he tells everybody what he wants to do. He wants to land his lead hook. That's all, and he wants to put you in the corner. So with that being said, when he's going up against a guy like Fulton, he's going to use the entire ring. How motivated is Fulton? I don't have these answers. Liam.
He looks worse and worse every time out. Like since the Inoue fight, he doesn't look like the same fighter.
I was shocked he beat Figueroa. Like I know people said Figueroa was shot, but then he comes out and knocks out Nick Ball. Yeah. So
But Fulton
it's it,
looked great in the first half of that fight, and he looked
and then faded.
decrepit in the second half of the fight, right? Like
Everything,
yeah.
everything fell apart, man. Like it's kind of one of those things you don't see unless you tested. A guy totally melting. Figueroa did what he always wants to do: stay right there, stay in the pocket, boom, bully front foot, land the hook. So I'm not. I haven't committed yet. I am kind of entertaining the Liam Wilson underdog play. We'll see.
All right. Let's move on. Let's get to Hitchens and Salas. This to me, Hitchens by decision.
Yep, I like it.
What's
your book paying on that?
Minus 190.
Jeez, I'm looking at mine real quick. Hitchens, that's on points. Okay, I'm only getting 50% return on points.
Yeah.
And then not okay. And Salas is a kid isn't Salas undefeated?
I was just doing the tape on him. I believe so, yeah.
That's the thing, guys, we have to remember when we're betting, and this is for everyone.
Charles has 2 losses, but they were
so he does have 2 losses.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has 2 losses, 2 draws. His last loss was 5 years ago against Avila.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I mean, he was like 21 years old when that happened. I wouldn't put too much into that loss.
I haven't made a play yet on this. I do have Hitchens on a long-term parlay on the money line, but maybe did any of your boys do the tape on Chester Terralis? Because I'm looking at his box rec a couple years ago. He has a 10-round majority draw with a guy named Chester Terralis, who's 12-3, fights a guy who's 3-8. And then from there, the knockout with Roman Villa, but that's not the same Roman Villa. Roman Villa in 2024, he had already been stopped by Boots then. So Roman Villa gets stopped.
He's got wins over Villa, and Kent Cruz is
Caracho.
Yeah, Kent Cruz is the guy that's been around. He doesn't win, but he fought Gary Antoine Russell. Like he's been around a bit. Yeah.
Look, I rate Hitchens. I like his jab. I like his hand speed. I think moving up to 47 is going to suit him. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Is the point adult like 50% return on points? What do you do? Do you parlay that with something, or do you roll the dice? I mean, he's not a knockout artist by no means.
Parlay it with Shiraz by stoppage. Shiraz by stoppage. What do you think?
I think Shiraz is going to come out aggressive. I think that kid's fighting with a chip on his shoulder. I like what I'm seeing. When I watch Shiraz's tape, and I'm not trying to make a direct comparison, but when he's standing with his guard and when he's coming in with the jab, I see a little bit of inklings of Kelly Pavlik style. There's certain, like he's growing on me, Shiraz. I wasn't the biggest fan when he fought at 60, when he was talking all that trash about being undisputed and beating Alam Hanalei and then swerving that fight and then what he looked like against Adames. But then when he moved up to 68 and totally dog-walked Berlanga, all that shit that was being talked, I was like, all right. And then he had, I think, one more fight. So, yeah, you got to take Shiraz under, the knockout to come early then for that to pay anything, right? So, like, maybe 1 through 6, Hamza?
Well, I mean, so I'm just, here's my parlay. I'll give it to you now. Butler Berlanga not to go the distance. Shiraz by stoppage. And Hitchens on points.
Okay, that's gonna Butler Berlanga not to go the distance, guys, is paying $1.52. If you just take that's really good. Considering I don't see that fight going the distance.
No, someone's getting put to sleep. They both by double knockout. They both like go to sleep.
Dude, if you take the Butler and Berlanga not to go the distance at $1.52 and take Hitchens on points at $1.50, you're a plus money. You're doubling your money. You're already doubling. So that's interesting. I don't have a play yet. Like I said, my book is only giving me so much at this time. If Eddie Baggs can't beat Stephen Butler, I don't know what to do. He needs to look. I like Stephen Butler. I've won a lot. We've won a lot of money on him over the last 18 months. Eye of the Tiger has been feeding him, and with these promotions, these international promotions, what they do is they have to develop their guys. They have to give them favorable matchups. We look at Eye of the Tiger promotion out of Montreal, kind of like we look at Top Rank. A sides normally are going to win. You got a guy like Stephen Butler who has a high knockout to win ratio. What do? You give him an opportunity to get more knockouts to then take the guy to bigger fights. And this is that bigger fight with Berlanga. But, man, if Eddie can't beat Butler, man. Butler's flat foot. He's going to
I
stand
think
there.
but his timing is impeccable. Like the one thing he has is timing and power. If you have timing and power, you can do damage at any level because you're just going to sit, especially against a guy that's flat footed, not very fundamentally sound, leaves himself open to be hit. I'm not saying Butler's going to win. I'm saying someone's going to sleep. It could be Berlanga. Berlanga could get you put to sleep, but I'm far more confident in that someone's going to sleep than I am picking a winner. So to me, the bet is not to go the distance.
Okay, so what are you more confident with? Because I gave the boys a parlay and there's been pushback. Right now, Berlanga is $1.32 on the money line, and the fight not to go the distance is actually $1.52. So
I'm more confident it doesn't go the distance.
Yeah, I wish I didn't see that prop until after I made that bet, but I'm not that. Look, Berlanga loses to Canelo every round. Gets starched. There were moments where it was competitive against Shiraz. Moments, not round. He wasn't winning rounds.
Well, where
but
they exchanged, yeah. I mean, he landed some shots because
he landed some shots.
That's how this fight's going to look. I mean, Butler's not Shiraz, so I think the outcome might be different. But I would take the under. Like, if you can get under 5.5 or something like that, I'd probably take that. Like, so this is going to be an explosion in the center of the ring, and someone is getting put to sleep early in this fight. Like, we're not gonna there's not gonna be a feeling out process in this fight. Like, they're gonna sit and trade, and both guys can punch, and both guys get hit a lot. Like, someone is going nighty-night, and I think relatively early. I just don't know who it is.
It would change Butler's whole life if he knocks out Edgar Berlanga.
It's on. I would, if you're asking me who I would pick, I would take Berlanga, but I'm not super confident. I feel like no matter who's on,
it's tough to
get knocked out. Yeah.
I mean, coming off the knockout loss to Shiraz and all that shit he spoke about, and then the parade he did after he lost to Canelo. I get why people aren't high on Ed, but I mean, come on, dude. When you talked about, you were saying the whole timing thing. You were talking about Butler, right? Having good timing.
Yeah.
Okay, so but when you watch his knockouts, he gets it's his like he's relying on his opponents to stand against the ropes and punch with them, to just stand there, and these are like C- level domestic guys that the Tiger, are bringing in. Berlanga at least has been in there at the world level for years now, so I think this could be like this. Ed could make it look easy. I'm expecting Ed to make it look easy and stop Butler under 6. That's what I think should happen. But if Berlanga can't do that, I'm never vouching for him ever again.
Don't vouch for him.
I vouched for him once and I get burned. I vouched for him once and I get burned. This is the last time. I'll give you one more shot, Berlanga.
We all got one that we wish we could take back. Mine is
that one.
Yeah,
dude, that one. Berlanga for Shiraz, and that was an emotional play on my end because it was more of I had beef with Turki Al-Sheikh. So my beef with Turki Al-Sheikh poured over into my beef with Hamza. But anyway,
the reason why I just think Berlanga, I don't have I've met Berlanga. I think he's a cool guy. I think he's smart like a box of rocks, but I think he's a cool guy.
Yeah, my dad would say if he was still alive, I'd like to give that kid an IQ test. That was his favorite line. But there's some guys who are students of the game. Well, you don't think it's probably, how much of it is a show though? For how much people say he sucks, I don't know if he's had to make millions. So if you say like that in itself takes some IQ. You don't just make millions not having an IQ. This day and age of TikTok and social media, I take that back.
Yeah.
But in boxing,
20-year-old gymnast and show your ass on the internet and make more money than Arch Manning.
I mean in boxing. I guess I mean in boxing. There used to be a time though in life where we could say that before social media and the internet. There used to be a time where you would say you don't become a millionaire on accident, but now you kind of do. So,
well, it's not by accident, right? Like if you can, like I said, if you're a 20-year-old gymnast and you can show your ass on the internet, you can make millions.
Jesus, insane. What else on that card?
I totally lost my. I got about 20 minutes. I gotta wrap this up.
Yeah, so we got you got Hitchin Salas, you got Butler, Berlanga. I'm not getting all these fights
Hackett,
yet.
Derevchenko.
Yes.
Derevchenko.
Let's go.
This is interesting to me. This is my dog. We're going dog hunting. We're going big dog hunting. I'm
Gotta
taking
get him.
Derevyanchenko.
Oh shit! Sell me. Sell me. Sell me.
Derevyanchenko is not shot. Derevyanchenko
Sell me.
is the better mover. Like we all look at Hackett as the athlete. Derevyanchenko is a good athlete. Derevyanchenko can move. Derevyanchenko is going to circle him. Derevyanchenko is better on the outside, and he moves his feet better. He's going to hit his angles. Derevyanchenko is the best 16-6 fighter in the history of boxing. Can we agree on that?
Bro, you'd be hard pressed to find another guy. Like, it's crazy. No, I'll give you that. Now, so you're I'm just looking at what my book is giving Derevyanchenko on the
I love
money
the
line.
over, and I love Derevyanchenko in this fight. I love the over. I love Derevyanchenko.
Okay, so Derevyanchenko currently is plus 140. So that's your dog. So it's so you're taking him based off of his durability, his experience, and his athleticism.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wrote a little read on it and I shared it in my Discord, but I haven't jumped yet either on this fight. I don't have this fight yet. But my problem is it's hard for me. Okay. What is Derevyanchenko's best performance or performances?
Beating Triple G.
I mean, what do you remember what year that was?
It was December of 2020, I want to say.
2020, right? Yeah, 2020 or 2019. Now the cards in the history books, we know Triple G won that fight.
Yeah, but we watched the fight though. We all watched the fight.
But it's hard. Derevyanchenko will be 41 in October. It's hard for me to bet on a 41-year-old whose best wins or losses. And at 41, he's coming down a division. When you see older guys coming down a division in their 40s, and Hackett, since he's moved up a division at 23 years old, he's 3-0. And at 23, he's 5'11". He's aggressive. What do they call him? The El Mexican. They call him the Black Mexican.
El Negro Mexicano or something.
Yeah,
like that, right?
It's his by far a big step up for him. You know, he's coming off, I think, a split decision win. I think this might be the time that I think I'm going to fade. I don't know. My instinct would say Hackett right now, but I'm not. I need to look into it a bit more. I do know Derevyanchenko.
Hackett gets hit too much. He gets hit too much. He's in front of you. Yeah.
And that could invite a certain, but that's his fight.
It is, and it shouldn't be, because Hackett's a good athlete, but he doesn't fight like a good athlete. He fights. I'm not saying he fights like an athletic version of a flat-footed Mexican, if that makes sense, right? Like I don't like. Yeah,
it's another one of these fights that we're getting to see these younger guys, 23 years old, 22 years old.
To me, this is the best fight in the ring. This is the best action of the week. Yeah.
What is it? It's a 10-rounder. Hackett's going to be slightly the A side, right? I mean, on paper, he's the A side. He's the younger guy. Close rounds, but Derevyanchenko's work rate, Derevyanchenko's ability to just make it a grueling. But Derevyanchenko got beat up in his last fight. Did you like what he looked like in his last fight?
He got hit. You talking about the little tune-up fight he took?
Not the tune-up. The tune-up was a 6-8 guy. He knocked him out in the 6th round.
Well, no, you talking about Derevyanchenko and Billy fight. I thought he was competitive in there with Billy.
He got hit a lot.
He gets hit too much, but he got hit by Billy a lot, and he stood up to it. So if he can stand up to Billy, like Hackett can punch, but he can't punch like Billy. If he can last with Billy, and he can last with Munguia, he can last with Hackett.
The Munguia fight though was a little while ago too, though.
Yeah, and he doesn't fight much. Derevyanchenko doesn't fight often, that's for sure.
And so, like, there is an argument to be had sometimes that, is it now, like, will the egg finally get cracked sort of thing? Not saying that Hackett will knock him out, but will we see a guy who's about to be 41 with those wars in his style? Will we see the degradation? I thought to me, you were seeing it against Billy, because this kid isn't putting his hand up to lose. So he's going into the Billy fight to win. He thought he was going to win. And I thought that you got to see, like, that kid wasn't the same kid who fought Triple G. It's nature. You're not going to be. So if that level, if we see another degradation, I think Hackett could pull it out. I think the odds are fair. Derevyanchenko's 1,000,000% live as a dog. 1,000,000% live. So I'm still torn. I don't know my exact pick. That's probably at plus money. It's really tough not to take Derevyanchenko. You know what I mean? So that's my read so far.
To me, that's the bet right there. Like if you want to take a dog, that's your dog distance. Right there.
The distance.
I like the distance. I think you gotta like like I said, if he went the distance with Billy, and he went the distance with Munguia, he could go the distance with Hackett.
Yeah. We'll see.
Unless you think he's gonna knock Hackett out, right? I mean, I guess that's a possibility too. I wouldn't bet on that, but
this 23-year-old, he's a dog. So Eli says taking the distance, leaning Hackett. It's a close one though, right? You ask Eli.
Yeah.
Ask Eli this then. Do you see Jaleel being the bully here? Do you see him backing up Derevyanchenko? Is he outpointing him? Is he landing the bigger shots? Like, because I'm sure for me, I don't disagree with this. My instinct is kind of the same thing, but it's like now I have to see how is Hackett going to win rounds. Like, is it? So
he's
what is
he? Hackett only comes forward, right? So
that's what I mean.
Yeah. So he's gonna have to.
Is his work rate? Is his work rate going to be as high as Derevyanchenko's?
His work rate's not going to lose him rounds. It might not win him rounds, but he's not going to lose rounds because he didn't throw enough punches, right?
Yeah.
But we know that you can win world titles by throwing 13 punches around. We know that.
Yes, we do.
So it doesn't really matter. You can outbox him without throwing any punches somehow.
All right. So what did Eli say? What's the chat saying, Hackett or Derevyanchenko? Is anybody on Derevyanchenko in the chat? I don't see it. Like I can't see.
No, not really.
So everyone's taking Hackett.
I think Hackett is better than Billy, skill for skill. Oh, jab the spicy take. Really? You know what? That's not that much of a spicy take. It sounded ridiculous when I first read it, but now that I kind of process it, who do you think is more skilled? And Billy's obviously the bigger hitter, but who do you think is more skilled? Hackett or Billy?
I think what we're seeing.
I think it's kind of a fair take on second.
I think it's a fair take, and Judah Zab has fair takes when I see him on your show, so he's not coming from a ballpark perspective. I think we're starting to see, as we're seeing guys leveling up. There's one thing with being dominant on the domestic scene, and one thing with having power and a lot of knockouts on the domestic scene, like Lester. You know, I'll use him as an example. I still am salty that I just don't think Lester's the guy that we were sold. And Billy, I'm seeing one engine. I'm seeing, like, if that fight goes 12 rounds, I think Lester beats him, Billy. I'm seeing, and Billy looks great those first 4 rounds against Lester. And then you start to see Lester make a sort of a game plan adjustment in the 5th. He changed the range and distance where the fight was happening. And then Billy just stayed the same. So that gear is a hard gear to prepare for them, Billy. But it's predictable. Hackett, with his size, is punching where he likes the fight to take place. I think he might turn into a guy who wants to start breaking people. That's what he thinks he is, isn't it? Like, isn't this the guy who he calls him? So I'm sure there's guys in the chat who are going to take Hackett to stop him.
I don't love that bet.
Because he's never been stopped.
Yeah.
Derevyanchenko's never. So keep that in mind. But I'm just saying, I'm sure there are guys, and they'll look like geniuses if it does happen. But if it doesn't happen, fair warning, Derevyanchenko's never been stopped. And then also you have a guy in Derevyanchenko who's going to be 41 with 22 pro fights. I know the amateur background and everything, the activity. His best fights were 2019 and 2020. And so, like, how do I bet on a guy whose best fights he lost on paper? He's 41 against a 23-year-old who you'd have to think that every time we see Jaleel, he's going to add levels. Even if they're small levels, he's going to slowly start figuring out his pro style. And that could be a dangerous thing for Derevyanchenko. Great matchmaking. Shout out to Zuffa again. Great matchmaking.
Yeah, Zuffa's doing. As far as what anything else that we need to touch on? What else?
So is your chat all on Hackett too? But you picked Derevyanchenko in your breakdown.
Yeah. Okay, I picked Derevyanchenko.
All right, the boys have been asking me about a fight that's not on my radar. I don't mean to offend all the bettors here. It just wasn't on my radar.
I had one. Remind me. I got one. But remind me to bring up the fight.
Yep, we got 10. We got you got 11 minutes. This is Otto Wallin versus Sorenko. And so I looked at the tape on Sorenko. And Otto Wallin, I don't know if I'm even going to bet that fight with all the other fights. Do you have action on that fight?
No, I haven't done. I'm not going to get to it either. There's so many fights this week. I don't get to that.
Okay. That was
I
it.
would just, yeah. All right, Jacob Bank against your guy, your favorite Brit, Pavel August.
How's that
First of
my
all,
favorite Brit?
what kind of
Well,
Brit is named Pavel? Like his
I've never.
mom had an affair with the Polish sausage maker for sure, and named their kid Pavel August. Pavel?
I
Have you ever met a Brit named Pavel? Ever? But proceed.
Pavel
Pavel.
wasn't even on my radar.
The W is a V. It's Pavel.
Pavel wasn't even on my radar. He's coming off a points decision win against Simon Sakinhuber, the same kid that Shiraz is fighting.
Yeah,
So
you know this. You've seen Pavel August before. You've seen him before.
I didn't know about this fight. He fought the Simon Sakinhuber fight. He fought a guy with the same first name. Are we fucking? So you just said, how crazy is that? You just said that. Have you ever heard of a guy with that name? And then you look at his box rec, and 3 fights ago, he fights a guy with the same name.
Well, he can't be a Brit. It's not a Brit with that name, is it? Let me see. Where's the guy
Pavel.
from?
But what are the chances, though? My point. No, it must be. He's a Slovakian kid. So maybe it's Slovakian. He was 9-53. What are the chances, though? Come on, right? Jacob Bank, man, he has a lot of people are acting like Jacob Bank is, he's getting the same kind of push as that kid from Germany, or the Dutch kid, the blonde-haired Dutch kid who's like knocking everybody out. Jacob Bank is getting the same push he's getting. His name's slipping my mind right now. Gets walked out by his like 6-year-old daughter. Great feel-good story. Dutch, the Dutch isn't really known for their boxing, known for kickboxing. But Jacob Bank, probably by knockout. Wouldn't that be the move?
Isn't Breedis from where's Breedis from? Marius Breedis.
Oh, Marius Breedis. Shout out. He broke Jai Patai's jaw.
Breedis is underrated. Breedis is, I think, yeah, 3rd or 4th best cruiserweight of all time.
Latvian.
Oh, Latvian. Whatever. The flag looks the same, doesn't it? I don't know.
Does everyone's on Jacob Bank, I assume.
Yeah. I wanted your thoughts on it.
This is Jacob Bank. This is a fight that's made for Jacob Bank to push his name and his brand. They're trying to, and shout out to them trying to develop guys, and that's what our sport's all about. It's kind of like what led Butler to fighting Berlanga. So, Jacob Bank, I'm not getting props, money line. If I can, I'll see what the knockout looks like.
Anything on Anthony Joshua? Just Joshua by stoppage. Any thoughts on that?
What is the play? I might tell. Shout out to Youngin. Youngin's a JSB insider. He puts together these moonshot parlays, and bro, I gotta be honest. The boys hit these. Like I'm talking like 300-1 odds. It's not his only bets, but once a week he'll put these together. And I think the move is the Anthony Joshua. No, I don't have anything. No, I'm not getting any.
I wanted to get you this before. The fight that I'm very interested in is Callum Peters. What your thoughts on him fighting an undefeated Argentinian? Whatever I see that, I want to bet the dog.
Yeah, what's his name? Evicta or Activist?
Yeah, Manu Ginobili or something. He's fighting an undefeated Argentinian. Whenever I see that, my spidey says, "Ooh, is this enough?" Peters a little bit in the U.S. Talk to us about Peters, and is this live? Is this a live dog?
Callum Peters is great amateur, 21 years old, being pushed. When I list my top 5 prospects coming out of Australia, he's number 1. 50 cal, fun style, talented, could fight you at range, but he wants to be in the pocket, could punch. They brought down Joshawn James. Now, Joshawn James might be best known for that double knockdown that he had 2 fights ago, or fighting Lester. But Joshawn James came down to win, and Callum Peters, if anything, it went the distance. Joshawn, earned the respect of the whole country because he was taking some bombs. And this is another step up for the young 21-year-old. They think they have in Callum Peters at the division a guy who, as he matures into his frame, is going to be at the world level. And I think he's going to be. Great hand speed, good fight IQ, very marketable, a fun style, TV-friendly style. I think the Argentinian will be tough. Australia's been known to bring Argentinian fighters to match with their sort of rising prospects. I like Callum on the money line. I'm not getting odds on it though. I don't know what those odds are, and another tough fight for Peters. But another prospect is Amon Rita. But you're right. Argentina is known for these sort of guys.
Yeah.
Non-household names, tough, could take a shot. We just saw one of these guys against who's the super middleweight who fought. I think he fought.
I'm taking Ron Southall. I'm taking Derevyanchenko on this. Like
Okay.
me and Johnny, despite the heated argument, we're actually for this week on the line on almost. Do we disagree? I think we've been on the same page on everything, right?
Like the Derek. I know you've committed on
Josh Kelly by decision. I'm taking Kelly. I just think he sucks and he shouldn't have a world title. This week, I think he wins.
Look, healthy debate is passionate debate's healthy. So I grew up with a house of a Slavic dad and a whole slew of Italian women. This is normal. This is like you go to my house where I come from. This is how people talk. So, I don't know if I'm 100% convinced I'm taking Derevyanchenko. So I don't want your boys, because I know we did this like a while ago one time and on our thing, and it sounded like I agreed with you. And then I didn't put my bet in, and then I flip-flopped, and then I posted, and then I got attacked for being a flip-flopper. But I don't know yet. I'm kind of 50-50. I'm kind of leaning Hackett though. If we were to disagree on something, I think I'm kind of leaning Hackett. I'll know in like a day or so.
All right.
Other than that, would you and you're not betting Zoo. You're not betting Zoo Spence.
Like you're taking Berlanger. I'm kind of on the fence on it, but my bet is not to go the distance. Like my bet on that fight is not to go the distance. If I had a gun in my head, I had to pick a winner. I would take Berlanger. I just don't feel comfortable enough betting that.
Better odds though. Like I didn't. You're getting $1.52 on the fight to go not to go the distance, exactly. And it's better than Berlanga on the money line. So I do like that. I'm not. I've only put like 2 tickets in this week because my books. So I have a lot of decisions to make in the next 48 hours, but nothing will be too drastic from what we spoke about. Maybe Fulton versus Wilson. I think if I had to take a dog, like I do have Tim Tszyu. I got him at plus 135 as my dog, but I think I don't think it's out of the ordinary for people to take Wilson, hometown kid. It's the fight of his life. If Fulton even comes a little bit unprepared, Wilson could catch him. So I am flirting with the idea of taking Liam on the money line at plus 280. Those odds are pretty crazy. So that's where I'm standing right now. Other than that, I think we're good.
I gotta wrap this up, Johnny.
Yeah,
appreciate
we're good,
you coming
bro.
on. Oh, this is how I talk. Like
exactly.
If I don't talk to you, like, it means I don't like you. Or if I didn't like you, I would.
I just want to let the chat know. I just want to let the chat know everything's good. All right, man. You be good, man. Good luck.
Yeah,
good luck
be good.
This weekend.
Anything you want to plug? Because I'm gonna wrap this up now.
All the ones on my chat. I'm gonna be doing a live stream in 2 hours. You guys should already know that. If you're in my chat, not following 3D, go to 3D. Follow Gary. He's a beast. Thanks for having me on, brother.
If you're on my channel and you're not subbed to Johnny, go sub Johnny. Even if you are subbed to Johnny, go give him a like because the algorithm likes all that. Appreciate you guys.
You too, bro.
Johnny. We'll do this again soon.
Of course. Be good.
July 21st, 2026, from Texas to the world. Thank y'all and God bless.
Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3D Boxing is on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.